With uncertainty looming in the future, which way is the crypto market going to go? Up or down? Let's see. Currently, we're seeing a small little pullback in the S&P 500, which undoubtedly is linked to the crypto market, Bitcoin, and various other altcoins. We see it has had a bit of a pullback from reaching this key level of support. I would say it's going to go up to the 5,715. But the key thing here is that it's settling above the 200-day EMA. That is a good sign. It is holding that support, and I expect further continuation depending on how the FOMC goes forward. If we look at Bitcoin, it's still holding that 94,318. That line I drew many moons ago, and it is holding it perfectly. The longer it stays there, the better it is, especially if there is a level of recovery in the S&P 500, which could potentially go and try and test the 98,000 to up to 100,000 Bitcoin. Now, there is every chance if the FOMC comes out a bit hawkish, this thing can come down and retest this area, the 92,000 area. But let's see. I expect some level of de-risking going into this, but let's see what goes from there. The key factor to really look into, and mainly the reason why Bitcoin is holding so strong, is Michael Saylor has added a very large amount of Bitcoin again, and he's continuously buying. His average now is about $70 Bitcoin. This shows real strength. This is what's moving the market forward, and we are counting on this guy to bring in more liquidity as this moves forward. If we look at USDT dominance, this key level of the 5% level I've stated many times ago is having difficulty breaking, but what could be a good sign is that it's coming to an area of resistance. This could very well retest back down this 5% area, and that movement from there to there could bring some upside to alts and Bitcoin in general. By the way, USDT dominance is the amount of money that is being put into stables, and which means it's not in crypto or any type of crypto asset. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance, which in essence how much of the liquidity is going into Bitcoin, this thing is still laddering up, and I think the 66.15% area is, in my opinion, somewhat undoubtedly going to be hit. But this may look bad for alts, but it's also a good sign for alts. Let me explain why. The more this goes up without a real retracement, the retracement will be ever so larger. Remember that stating that I said, the further it goes up, the more pain we will achieve, and the higher and higher it goes, we'll approach maximum pain. This is the opposite way around. Once this thing reaches up to the top and Bitcoin gets to the levels that we're expecting due to the triple punch bearish divergence, that rejection from there is going to be wild for all alts. So this could be a positive sign for alts. One area of worry, and this is the thing that's worrying me the most at this present moment, is the 10-year treasury bonds are going up again. This is not a good sign. We need this to turn around, and this here, the further this goes up, the lower the chance of a rate cut will happen, because the Fed, I promise you, will not cut rates if this is high, because cutting rates will only exacerbate this issue. So all in all, we are all waiting for this Wednesday meeting. Everyone's looking at this. This is going to dictate the future of crypto, financial assets, and everything that it involves in any form of risk on asset. Whether the FOMC, the Fed, goes hawkish or dovish is going to affect where everything's going to go. I'm expecting a dovish sentiment because the markets are not doing so well. Growth is down. Inflation is a worry because inflation will only hit in the future, and the effects of these tariffs will only come 2 to 3 months down, and the Fed is worried about cutting, which could only exacerbate that issue. This, unfortunately, gives the fears of stagflation, and we're going to have to see what happens from here. Anyway, I'm Alvarez, 7-figure crypto investor. Like, follow, share, and hey, make sure that you make some comments in the bottom. And I give these things for free. Watch it all the way through. I give you the maximum amount of information and help. Anyway, this ain't financial advice. This is just a bit of fun. I'm just explaining to you what I believe is going to happen, and we can go from there. Peace.